Hello and welcome back to WealthWave, the channel where we break down the most important updates about Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits, retirement programs, and your financial security. Today's video is one that a lot of you have been asking me about. It's all about your monthly deposits, specifically your Social Security checks, retirement benefits, disability benefits, SSI, survivors benefits, spousal benefits, VA benefits, and RRB benefits. In today's world, where we've been seeing headlines about banks struggling, economic uncertainty, and even recessions being discussed, a lot of beneficiaries are rightfully asking, is my money safe in the bank? Could a bank collapse affect my Social Security check? And what do I do if I want to change my deposit information? So, let's dive in step by step. But first, I want to hear from you. Please take a quick second to leave a comment down below. Do you think the changes we've seen from Social Security so far in 2025 are fair or unfair? Just type fair or unfair. You don't need to write an essay unless you want to. But seeing your responses really helps me understand where our WealthWave community stands. Why so many are worried about Social Security deposits. For millions of Americans, Social Security is not just a check, it's a lifeline. Many seniors, people with disabilities, and veterans depend on it for all or nearly all of their monthly income. That means if something disrupts your benefit even for a single month, it could throw your entire financial situation off track. Paying rent, covering utilities, buying groceries, or refilling prescriptions, all of it relies on that benefit arriving safely, on time, every month. And with all the headlines about banks collapsing over the last few years, I completely understand why so many people are nervous. After all, we've seen real examples of banks going under. When Silicon Valley Bank failed, billions of dollars in deposits were at risk. And while most Americans don't have millions in the bank like those companies did, the fear is the same. If my bank fails, do I lose my Social Security check? Here's the good news. The short answer is, no, you don't need to panic. Here's why. In the United States, we have something called FDIC insurance. This is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and its job is to protect your deposits in the event your bank fails. FDIC insurance covers you up to $250,000 per depositor, per bank, per ownership category. For the majority of people, especially Social Security beneficiaries, this is more than enough. Even if you have a savings account and checking account combined, most people aren't anywhere near the $250,000 limit. If you're with a credit union, the same protection exists under the NCUA, the National Credit Union Administration. So here's the bottom line: if your bank goes under, your Social Security money is still safe. The government steps in to make sure your deposits are paid out. And history shows that even when depositors had more than the $250,000 insured amount, like we saw with Silicon Valley Bank, the government often stepped in to protect those deposits too. Why? Because confidence in the banking system is critical. So while a bank failure is scary and inconvenient, it does not mean your Social Security checks will vanish into thin air. Economic contractions and bank failures. Now, let's zoom out. Anytime we go through an economic contraction or recession, some banks usually do collapse. That's just the reality of how the financial system works. We saw this in 2008 during the financial crisis. We saw it again during COVID when smaller banks faced stress. And we saw it recently with regional banks that couldn't withstand sudden pressure. But here's what you need to remember. The majority of banks in the U.S. are safe and sound. Bank failures usually affect a very small portion of the population. Even when they happen, FDIC insurance kicks in and protects you. So, yes, it's normal to feel nervous when you hear about banks closing. But it doesn't mean your Social Security benefits are at risk of disappearing. What about direct deposits? Now, here's something really important that changed this year, and this affects all of us. In April 2025, Social Security changed the rules for updating your direct deposit information. Before, you used to be able to just call them and make changes over the phone. But not anymore. Now, there are only 3 official ways you can change where your Social Security benefits are deposited. Visit your local Social Security field office in person. This may take some time, but it's a secure way to get it done. Log into your My Social Security account online. This is probably the easiest option for most people since it's available 24/7 and very secure. Update your information through your bank. Many banks now have direct connections with Social Security, so they can help you set up or switch your direct deposit. Those are the only 3 ways allowed now. Calling Social Security to update your deposit information is no longer an option. So, if you've been thinking about switching to a larger, more stable bank or a credit union that you feel more comfortable with, you absolutely can. Just use one of those 3 approved methods. Should you be worried about your monthly check? Here's my honest answer: no. Could a recession hit? Yes. Could banks collapse? Yes. That happens. But your Social Security benefit is one of the most secure forms of income in America. The government isn't going to stop paying out Social Security benefits. And FDIC insurance exists to protect you if your bank is one of the unlucky ones. So please, don't lose sleep over this. There are plenty of other things to be concerned about, like inflation, the cost of healthcare, housing, and rising utility bills. But your Social Security benefit not showing up is not one of them.